Hey everyone, Crimson Desert just had a major update, their 1.05 patch, and like last update, there's actually some hidden updates that are not listed in the patch notes, which I'll be breaking down in this video, alongside all of the updates that came with the patch. Now, I'm just going to start off here with a couple quick ones that are really cool. You can now dye the Vision headset here, as you can see. Unfortunately, there's no fix to have Unka or Damian be able to equip it, but it looks really cool. If you dye it all black or really any other color, it looks amazing. Another change, you can see here I'm holding a Canada Goose. Previously, they would just fly alongside you. Now you can pick them up, and it looks really cool. Certain birds would actually fly on your shoulder, or you'd hold your arm out and hold them, but now you can pick them up as if it were a cat. And for whatever reason, this is not listed in the patch notes, but there are some major changes to the game as well, like the Re-blockade feature, which is something I thought we would see at the end of May, but they already got it out. It's amazing to see. I don't think anyone at Pearl Abyss is sleeping, but hey, it's all for the love of the game. So they added the Rematch and Re-blockade feature, which was a really big update. But the amazing part here is we are continuing to refine these features, and this update serves as the first step of implementing their core foundational systems. Building upon this in future patches, we plan to progressively refine the content and craft a deeper world, and we're looking forward to what we have in store. This actually makes me think that there is much more in store than we would even expect, as each of these updates has dropped so much new content into the game. It's actually kind of incredible to see. Now, I do honestly think they will be adding more to the rematch content, because as it stands right now, there is no reward for doing it. So unless you're like a diehard Crimson Desert fan and love the combat, there's no real reason for us to do it. Right now, as it stands, it's basically just to test your progress and experiment with different tactics to perfect your own combat style. But I do think in the future, they'll be adding more like rewards or something just to give it an incentive to do. Now, in order to do these, you got to locate them on your map. They're also listed in your journal as well. But if you go on the map, normally you'd be under the all signature there. But if you go under environment, you're going to see these new nodes here that pop up, like Hirosh the Slayer, Matthias, really anyone. You're going to see them in the location that you fought them at. But if you also go into your journal here, and then you go over to the knowledge tab and you scroll down to memory fragments here, you're going to see that the bosses are all listed out here. So you can go back and it's going to show you them where they're at on the map. So if you click on them, it'll give you the exact location where you're looking to go. And once you go to this location, there'll be a note. And once you arrive at the location, here's the Ashen Cat, special cat name. So this is the Matthias fight. You hold up your lantern, you're going to see this ghostly remnant figure here, and then you can go ahead and fight against them. Then you can reminisce and fight them exactly as they were when you encountered them in the game previously, or the Resonate, which will make them scale up to match your character. And this is where I think they'll probably at some point implement some reward system to make this worthwhile doing. Maybe there'll be more armor and you go ahead and fight these bosses multiple times to get that currency. But either way, I think this is a nice change. I hope From Software is paying attention, as I'd love to see that in a Souls game. Now, I do want to quickly mention that the level of detail, lighting, popping, that hasn't been fixed. Hopefully, we'll see a change for that, because I know that's been on a lot of people's minds. I've gotten comments regarding that, and it happens to me too. The popping in this game is really weird. Sometimes the plants will just pop up and pop out of nowheres. Oh, God. And in the previous update, you no longer have to punch the people if you're going to arrest them, which I thought was a nice change. But another big thing is the Re-blockade content. I think this is amazing because it makes the world feel a lot more lively. And the best part, you got a choice in it. So Re-blockades will occur at a set probability for strongholds that meet the specific time and conditions. You'll be able to adjust this by going into settings and then going under the gameplay settings here. And as you go through it, it'll naturally be set to the conflict. So if you don't want this to get re-blockaded, go ahead and turn it to stable, which does not allow that to happen. But if you put it to the war, this will make it so that they re-blockade frequently. And the cool thing about this is it's going to happen whenever, let's say, a loading screen happens. So if you teleport, save or load, or sleep in a bed, this is when this is going to occur. And with the re-blockade, there'll be 13 different factions that'll carry it out between 23 different forts and quarries. And they do have future plans for this. They do look to increase the number of factions and the targeted strongholds in the near future. We also plan to adjust the enemies appearing in re-blockades to pose a much greater threat. I think that's amazing to see. And we also plan to improve the overall system of liberation and re-blockade. Because honestly, I went through and fought a couple. It's kind of boring. In addition to this, they have also released new pets, the Iron Eagle and the Hyacinth Macaw, which I'll have a separate video on how to get those. And the Iron Eagle will appear upon certain conditions, very vague. But there's also a new creature, the Mountain God Boar, which appears during certain circumstances as well. There's also a shop that'll sell disguise items, and there's new items added to the shop. Spoiler alert, if you want to avoid the spoiler, just click ahead a few seconds, but I'll reveal it here. When you're wearing the Ring of Lightning after defeating Titan, you can purchase the Lightning Bolt plate boots from Barry's shop. And for those that don't know who Barry is, you have to go all the way up north here and go visit the Witch of Kindness. That's right here. Yeah, the Witch's Lair. I went on the wrong one. So yeah, Witch of Kindness Berry is where you're going to be purchasing that from. Now, another really nice change is improved interaction with gold bars placed throughout the world that were previously unattainable. There was many locations in the Abyss that were like this, where there's gold bars. Now they're counted as a crude gold bar and you can pick it up and sell for 5 gold. I think that's an incredible change and a good compromise. They also improve the overall gardening experience, so you're no longer, when you use fertilizer, going to miss out on any of the ingredients that you get from farming, so it just makes it a lot smoother. Another change I want to quickly point out is you see this mission failed thing here. I've seen a lot of other people having this pop up. These, for whatever reason, the updates that normally would last for 3 to 4 seconds are lasting for much longer and not going away, and I'm not sure why that's happening, but it's relevant to this latest patch. They also increased the visibility of hints in certain puzzles and made things a little bit smoother across the board for a lot of these. Improved mission dispatch to automatically cancel if the missions can no longer go and be sustained. They also fixed the issue where a comrade's trust would reset to 10 under certain conditions. This is happening to a lot of people, and I'm glad they got that fixed pretty quickly. They also fixed an issue where certain livestock cannot be sold or butchered. Also got comments regarding that. Glad that it's fixed. Fixed an issue where comrade stats would apply as in progress, even though they were not on a mission. Now, there is a fix here that actually, I've gotten a couple comments, broke some things. Fixed revolving doors in certain puzzles reacting to force palm. And actually, in particular, when you're going to get this outfit that I have on Damian right now, there's a force palm that you have to push forwards. And apparently that's not working as intended anymore. So we'll likely see some future changes to that. There's also some changes regarding bosses. So for some reason, after defeating Umbra, Cliff could not end up dying anything, and fixed an issue where text would not display properly when reading the Assyrian gear blueprint, which you get by the Serpent Marsh. There's also fixes to the home decoration. I know that was a little bit buggy. They changed how it works, and it's nice to see that they're continuing to improve there. They also fixed an issue where the drill and chainsaw items could not be equipped in safe zones, and an issue where legendary mounts would die immediately upon being summoned under certain conditions. I do note that there are some issues still with the legendary mounts, but across the board, it seems like they fixed some of the spawning in issues, and last update let it so that you can use them on Demian and Unka as well. Now, there's also some changes across the board of combat, like quite a considerable amount. I'm going to fly through these here. There's changes to the corrupted Caliburn where you do improper attacks, improved combo fluidity when attacking the Storm Crusher and Thunder Tank bosses. These were a massive pain in the butt. They actually stealth nerfed these bosses a little while back. It was in the patch notes, but previously there was a bug where you're supposed to stab them in that little green glowing orb that appears on their head. On the base game patch in the first couple patches, that didn't work. If you went to stab it, you get knocked off and it wouldn't end up damaging them. And they now made it so that that works. It wasn't listed in patch notes, but they also changed it so that these will no longer just basically stun you into a wall. They were two very frustrating bosses. I'm glad that they got fixed. They also fixed an issue where Abyss Nexus would reset upon saving and loading after defeating the Abyss Kudum, and also a warning mesh will now display if you move at a combat area during the fight against Ludwig, which I honestly recommend doing. You can watch my video on how to beat Ludwig because you can actually run outside the building and kind of cheese him there a little bit, but they also fixed issues where bosses will not enter a staggered state. That's really nice because that yellow bar below their health bar, sometimes it didn't end up working as we wanted it to. They also fixed it so some bosses that could not get hit by ranged attacks from bows would now get hit by it. They also fixed bosses that would endlessly repeat evade animations, no longer doing that. And they fixed the damage reduction rate applied upon a successful guard for all weapon types, which is nice. So if you're using just like a 2-handed weapon you want to block, now you can. Now, another change that they actually made, which actually makes a lot of sense. Let's say you're playing as Damian and you go to the skills. Previously, it would load in on Cliff. Now it loads in as Damian here. So whoever you're playing, you're then going to see your skills selection. But something that's a little funny is, the force current ability here. Previously, when you use that, you like push something into place and lock it in. You would normally move like quite a considerable amount, and they actually changed it so you don't get like shoved around while using that skill anymore, which is nice. They also fixed some random bugs like the healing force palm causing daze to get applied to you, and also an issue where Axiom Force would not activate properly when aiming when the character is falling. I actually posted a video about infiltrating Ren X, and it's kind of funny because you can use it. If you're falling in the air, you can grapple back onto your dragon, or you can grapple onto that boss itself. It's kind of cool. They also fixed it so monsters near the Spire of Frost would take cold damage, which is not supposed to be a thing that happened, which is nice. They also fixed an issue where a character would not perform a falling animation when jumping from a high place. I actually posted a video the other day of that exact thing happening. My Cliff was like doing a weird dance in the air, and yeah, I think that is now fixed. I can't replicate that because it was really weird, but They also fixed some issues where walkers would do an incredible amount of damage, basically one-shotting you, and that's not supposed to be the thing that happened. It happened to me, and it literally sent my body flying whenever that happened. They also improved the appearance of Marnie's mech monsters. Also, if you're a Baldur's Gate 3 fan, I know a lot of my viewers are, Marnie is voiced by Neil Newbin, who voiced Astarion in that game. They also fixed an issue where the character would bounce unnaturally when falling into a shadow river. Also, there's some changes to Damian, but they fixed an issue where enemies right next to the character would not take damage when using the piercing light with a greatsword. They also made a change to Damian whenever she's standing and you go into like change the character, like if you're gonna edit her, sometimes she would have bounced up and down, and I know a lot of people really enjoyed that, and it's no longer in the game. Okay, here's the change. So she would temporarily move up and down in the barber or tailor shop. I'll also fix a change to like a lot of her outfits. And in particular, the one that I'm wearing here, the elegant carmine plate helm. I guess I don't have that on right now, but there's a change to that. Now, if you like the vault skill, they actually made a change to that so that you can now naturally pressing the jump button will execute the normal vault. But if you press it again, you'll do a double jump off of them. So it's nice that they got that all fixed up. And they also separated the interaction key for sit and lean on terrain and objects, which I think is nice. Sometimes accidentally do that. They also fixed an issue where the third hit of the force palm would occasionally activate without additional key press after second one, which the third punch is really good. So they also did change how Damian and Unka, they respond after using their throw skill. Keyboard and mouse also got a change where changing the quick slot tabs to not work near interactable objects. Now, I did see that some people were having issues with using F3 to heal themselves, so you can go in and re-keybind that if you're having issues with it. There's also changes to the UI here and fix an issue with the displayed chapter name during an autosave or manual save did not match the actual ongoing chapter. Please accept our sincere apologies and note that save files displaying the incorrect chapter name will only be updated to the correct chapter name after being manually saved again. So they fixed it for the future. That's nice and really nice of them to also apologize sincerely like that. Oh yeah, here it is. The skill menu will accurately open up as mentioned earlier. So if you're playing as Damian, you can open up your skills and they'll pop up to her skills and not Cliff's. They also updated the UI on Abyss maps to intuitively display the teleport path, which I gotta say is a amazing update. So whenever you're in the Abyss, sometimes it is kind of confusing to see where you're gonna be going. So like for example, in this location here, you can see that there is an Abyss gate that is gonna lead us down to this area here. So yeah, this will make the end game a lot less confusing because there are some moments where it just does not make any sense. So I'm glad to see that change there as well. Improved the minimap to display owned pets when in the Grey Main camp. I'm hoping that they increase the amount of pets that we can have because 30 is just not enough for me. But you can see that there, right beside my head, you can see those little blue icons here. That is showing exactly where your pets are on the map. I think that is a nice change, so I'm really glad to see all these changes being made. They also improved the sell and gift list to lock out the locked items so you can no longer accidentally donate those. And that was added in the last patch as well. They also added a cancel key guide to appear during the eavesdropping missions. Funny enough, like that one eavesdropping mission you do in Bayon, I'm kind of confused about it because it's the only one in the game like that, and it just feels like it was probably something that was made for their MMO. They found out it doesn't work that great. They threw it into a story mission. It kind of sucks. I know a lot of people don't really like that mission. Also, from the last update, I actually posted a video yesterday. I went over to the entire map. They said on the last update that there was 5 new cats being added to the game. I actually found a 6th cat. So they over deliver on their promises because they said 5 cats in the update. And there's a ragdoll cat that's added to the game. That's the one that I'm looking at right now. But they added a few different types of the gray cats as well as the abyss cat too. Now, if you're a person that's using the RTX 50 series card, there's now a dynamic multi-frame generation option under settings video. I don't have one of those to be able to report on it, but from what I've seen from people, it is really good. So that's nice. There's also a sharpment enhancement on the PlayStation 5 base and Xbox Series S and X, kind of similar to the PlayStation 5 Pro. Mac also got some issues with rendering errors. I'm actually really impressed this runs on Mac so well, including water graphics getting updated. They also improved rain falling from eaves to look more natural. Really cool because the water physics, I gotta say, in this game, I used to think Red Dead Redemption 2 had the best water physics, and this takes the cake. This is seriously so good. There's general stability updates as well, fix some localization errors across all languages. There's a bunch of other rewards here. Like the Golden Fire reward was not granted after defeating Golden Star. So if you notice you logged into that, you might have gotten that item added into your camp chest. And also just want to clearly mention that the camp chest is whenever you come to camp, there's going to be this camp right here, or this area right here. This is right beside where Carl is. Because I was talking about the saute bonding. Typically, if you have it and it didn't end up anywhere, it's going to be in that camp chest right there. So that's the chest that I am talking about. Previously, it was located behind Carl, but it got moved into this tent after the 1.03 update. They also improved the sound of footsteps for certain characters. Now, I did see some people saying that they noticed there was no footsteps for certain characters, so let me know in the comments if you're having issues with that. I'll also improve the sound effects when walking on glass textured ore veins. I think that's a nice change. They also made some changes to cutscenes to make them more natural, as well as NPC lines, voices, and reactions to make them feel a little more naturally. Also fixed an issue where the aerial maneuver would not activate after using Axiom Force on Kananda. They also fixed certain issues that would appear unnatural. So if you moved around, some of them would like kind of like clip into your body. I haven't noticed that happening after the patch with the amount of playing I've done. Fixed an issue where Clip's posture would appear awkward at the beginning of a cutscene while using blinding flash. No more awkward Cliff. Great. Well, all right. Yes. All right. They also made some changes across the board to Damian. The big one for a lot of people, she no longer bounces up and down. So yeah, I know a lot of people are sad about that. Changed the skill description of double jump as well. Unka also got updates so that his hairstyles will appear less awkward, so that's good. And also changed the appearance of some packs, the Cuckoo pack. I haven't noticed anything different about them, but let me know if you did in the comments. And there's a lot of other changes listed here. They're kind of minor ones, like the A tag that couldn't be dyed would appear in the dye menu when you couldn't actually dye it. They also fixed an issue where you could climb onto the Satya bond. So that kind of sucks because I was trying to figure out ways that you could cheese using it, but yeah, it makes sense. And also fixed an issue where animals would die because of abyss grass in certain areas. So that's nice that they got it fixed. Now, if you are having issues still, there is a known issues page. It's at the bottom of the patch notes here, which has some stuff here. Nothing super major, unless obviously you're getting impacted by it. But there was updates where the Cuckoo pack cannot be used. I know that is an issue that some people are having. Also, DLSS frame generation does have some issues in certain numbers or driver versions. And it's actually a known issue that Greymane faction quests cannot be progressed while playing as Damian and Rukin. So that sounds like they will be updating that as well. And pet that was last unsummoned does not appear at the Greymane camp. I noticed that as well, so that'll likely get fixed in future updates. Damian can lose her shield if she dies while using the shield, and this will be fixed by just reloading a save. But yeah, honestly, some really nice changes, and it's really incredible to see how much effort Pearl Abyss has been putting into this. I honestly think that I thought the re-blockades would be coming like late May. They got it done already. It's incredible to see this level of detail, and it leads me to believe that there's probably more stuff they'll be adding. I can see this game getting some pretty big updates because they're literally treating it like it's an MMO. So hopefully we'll see some more stuff. We'll probably have another update next weekend, so you can stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing videos on all of these updates too, because I am really enjoying Crimson Desert, and I think there's a lot of great stuff coming for this game. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you all in the next video.